Ladies and gents, welcome back once again. Yours truly, all things covered. Pat, Peterson, Bryant McFadden, another outstanding, entertaining, fired up show for you all. Week one is here. Week one is here. Week one is here. It's
yes,
here.
Sir.
Yes. But before we get to week one, I got to give you a small tease on what this episode will be about. Of course, get your official Steelers-Niners preview directly from a guy who will be participating in the ball game, and that's our very own Patrick Peterson. Plus, we will be answering some of your questions. You guys have done a phenomenal job hitting us in our comment section on YouTube. And for the ones that are listening to, for the individuals that are listening to us on podcast platforms, feel free to check us out on YouTube if you want to talk to us, interact with us. We might not get to you live, but we will get to you in the very, very next episode. And most importantly, tell a friend to tell a friend. Please subscribe, keep subscribing, get you some all things covered gear. Support us because we appreciate you, because you make our show better. And we thank you. But before we get into the week one preview with the San Francisco 49ers traveling from the west to the east coast against the Pittsburgh Steelers at 1 p.m. Eastern kickoff there in Pittsburgh, there's a lot we got to unpack real quick.
Let's make it quick. Let's make it real quick.
We gotta make it quick, but we gotta definitely
let's make it real quick.
We got to be thorough in what we say and how we say.
Let's make it real quick, man.
So the NFL week starts this week, week one. Technically, this was kind of like week two in college football because there were some
get into it, man.
Played, weeks ago, but most of the games were played this weekend. And if we can go back in time to our episode last week, there was a lot of talking with me and Pat P, LSU, Florida State. I went to Florida State. Pat P, he created DBU for LSU, right? He went to LSU talking trash. So I said last year we kicked their teeth in. And Pat P, can you reiterate what did you tell me? What did you say?
BMac? I did say this year. Now you can say that y'all kicked.
No. I want to lead up to it. I said when I said last year we kicked your teeth in. What did you say?
No. I said no. Y'all did not kick our teeth in because y'all won by what, 2 or 3 points. I can't remember.
Yeah, you're right.
That's not kicking anyone teeth in. But what y'all did over this past weekend, y'all definitely kicked our teeth in.
And didn't I say that? Didn't I say, well, this year we're going to send you back to Baton Rouge whispering because we're going to knock all your fronts out? Didn't I say that?
Man. Y'all knocked our fronts out, dog.
45, and I'm not counting that garbage touchdown when we had all our freshmen in at the end. It was basically 45-17. 45-17, basically.
Yeah.
Like what we did, man, like it ain't personal, it's just business. It's just business.
And I wasn't even able to watch the game because I was traveling back to Pitt from home. And I saw halftime. I got home at halftime. I was like, all right, we're looking pretty good. I'm just following ESPN stats, not really able to see the game. And I'm like, all the guys look like they're having a pretty good game on offense, defensively, looking like they, looking pretty good. Look like they're controlling the game. Man, I'll be damn. I don't know if I had bad juju on it, but when I got home, it got real ugly real quick.
Ooh, that second half was scary hours. It was adjustments that were made, adjustments that were not made. And hey, Mike Norvell.
Like Mike T used to say, man, when I'm watching this, man, I've been around Coach Mike T so long now. I'm so used to the term JV. Man, it was varsity versus JV out there Sunday night, man.
Yes, it was. And Pat, you didn't get a chance to really watch the game, as you mentioned. You were traveling, but we had way more talent than LSU.
Yeah,
way more talent.
That's crazy you say that because my coach Grady Brown obviously coached me when I was there at LSU. He said, man, it just look different, man. I was like, what you mean? He's like, man, they talent level. It ain't the same. It ain't the same when it was when we was there. And, obviously when Joe Stingley and all those guys came through, it's like, man, it just ain't the same. I was like, man, it looked like that in the second half because I was not able to see that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to see the game in the first half. But it is what it is, man. Congratulations to Florida State. Y'all whooped out behind.
Yeah.
Bottle 48 cases of case of
Voss. Yeah, Voss water, 48. Thank you. 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row, by the way. We're on a 5-game winning streak against LSU. And the entire series, I think we're like 9-2 against LSU. So we pretty much like own LSU, safe to say.
That's not good.
The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie.
Nothing I can argue about that, man.
I appreciate that, Pat P. That's when you're a stand-up guy. Because when
have I always not been?
You're right. And so listen, we're gonna keep it going. I think LSU gonna bounce back because you do got a lot of talent. It's just that what we have,
we just ain't show up.
We got a lot of pros.
Yeah,
we got a lot of pros on our team. I know you didn't get a chance to watch the game, but when you see what we got 167 wide receiver.
Yeah, I watched the preview and seeing all the guys and the names, the accolades they've been putting up and the ceilings for these guys. I was like, yeah, these guys talented. And also a couple during our training camp, I don't know if you remember this, but I can't remember the guy's number. I think he was number 0, maybe number 8. But he was talking trash to the offense. He was like, "This first day of pass. Ain't no more of that talk." I was like, "Yeah, I like him. He a dog. Whoever that is, I like him."
Mm-hmm. We got a lot of them on our team, man. It's gonna be a fun year, man. So,
good, man.
Next up, who we got? Southern Mississippi.
So what you saying is it's safe to say after that week 1 performance that y'all might be the Atlantic Coast?
ACC.
Yeah, I know that. But what the other Atlantic Coast?
They don't. It's no separation no more in division. It was Atlantic and Coastal. Now just one.
Okay, so do you see yourselves winning the ACC this year?
I felt that way before we played y'all. No question. If we stay healthy, nobody can run with us. Anybody can line it up. Now remember how much. See, so of course, like with you're dialed into the program at LSU, and I'm a little dialed more in with Florida State because I'm retired. You got more going on, taking time away. For me, I'm more dialed in because I ain't got to worry about scouting and watching film and get ready for a ball game like you do. You know what I mean? So I already knew what type of dogs we got down there. A lot of people just didn't expect for those dogs to do it. No, that's what I was expecting. That's why I was like, Pat P, y'all don't stand a chance. Remember, if you go back to our conversation. Like y'all,
you didn't say that. You said that.
And the thing is, get this, Pat P. You guys had a lot of drop passes. We had a lot of drop passes as well. We had one series. We had 45 yards of personal foul penalties on defense. Like we had so many crazy penalties, drop passes, miscues, and we still won by 21. Like our team, our quarterback's gonna get drafted. He stay healthy. Both of our wide receivers going to get drafted. He stay healthy. Bell, the tight end, going to get drafted. We probably got 3 linemen right now that's going to get drafted. Defensively, we probably going to have the first defensive end to come off the board, right? Both D tackles going to get drafted. We have pro after pro after pro. So to answer your question, man, even if Clemson beat, if they hadn't took care of the business against Duke, I like us. Hey. Anybody can line it up.
Hey, I wasn't even talking about Clemson. What we had a conversation watching that game too.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, man. They got it. They ain't got no talent. Duke had more talent than Clemson.
Man, that's the same thing. I was like, man, I don't know what it is. It just looked like, the teams that you so used to seeing in the, in the dance, in the college pro football. I mean, the college football playoffs. Just seem like they lacking talent now, man.
It is
because of the protocol, but it just don't seem.
You better Dabo Sweeney better jump in that portal and go get him some players. Talking about he don't want to do. No, that's not how he does business.
He gonna have to. He's gonna need him a quarterback, and he gonna need him some defensive players.
Yeah, and talking about a portal, Pat P. If we transition to friend of the show, we had him on primetime, Deion Sanders. His team is basically built on portals. And he had a heck of a debut this past Saturday as well, upsetting TCU 48-45. And currently, because of that upset, they're in the top 25. Were you surprised to see Colorado, number one, not just pull up a huge upset, but in the fashion in which they did it?
One, I was always a believer. But two, I was so impressed. Mm-hmm. How quickly he adapted to Division I football. It just seemed like he'd been there before. Just how poised he was on the sideline, how well prepared his team was. You got to think about it. That was a shootout. Mm-hmm. When TCU scored, his team came back and scored. Like he said in his press, because I follow Deion. I watch him all the time. That's one of my. That is my idol. That's the guy I looked up, as I was trying to be a defensive back in this league. But I watched him. He was like, man, yeah, defensively, we didn't play our best ball, but we found a way to get stops when we needed it. And that's so true. And offensively, they were just on fire. Nothing they did, they couldn't do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
To see the way that his team responded throughout adversity in game one, time after time after time after time again, it just goes to show that not only the guys brought in to what he's telling them each and every day, but they're believing the message and the vision that he's trying to share with these kids. So I watched every single snap of that game, man. I was so intrigued and just so at awe and just ready to see what the next chapter was going to be for him. And now it's just going to get bigger from here, because now I just saw, all of last year, Colorado sold, tickets for 200 and some odd bucks. And just this weekend alone, you got tickets going for 400 plus bucks.
No question.
Off of one game, what he was able to do has been remarkable. But I just can't wait to see what the outcome is going to be, because they got some talent. Like, they got some talent on that football team at
no
every
question
position. So it's going to be fun to watch Colorado season unfold this 2023 season.
Yeah. And you talk about the talent, Shedeur Sanders, over 500 yards, 5'10" to be exact, 4 touchdowns. Travis Hunter, 11 receptions for 119. Had a defensive interception in the secondary, played 129 snaps. I mean, two-way player, did it at his finest. Are you, because knowing, you wanted to have the football in your hands a lot. You was a big-time returner for LSU, but they didn't really use you like that on offense. Do you think right now, if you were back in college today, would you want to be a two-way player similar to what we witnessed with Travis Hunter this past Saturday from Colorado?
100%, because
Pat P, before you even go into your reasoning why.
Talk to me.
At college, you used to always cramp up. I don't know if you could handle 129 snaps. You're going to cramp up. That's one thing I know about Seven. Every time at LSU, boy, he going to miss at least for a whole game 5 to 6 plays because he got to get an IV. So remember that. I know you far removed from your LSU days.
I was gonna put that in there, Mac.
Okay. Go ahead. You go ahead. Let's hear why you want to play both ways. Let's hear it. Yeah. I heard it. Alabama, Julio Jones. Why Seven ain't no Julio? Well, they say Pat Peterson in the locker room getting the IV. I said, God dang it, every time, but boy, you're hot outside. Man,
but that just goes to show, man, I be fired up, Cat. Like, I give it all. I give it my all. Like, it only got 4% body fat, so it ain't got much fat anyway, man.
Boy, you cramp every week. You can cramp, especially in the months of September and October when it's still hot outside.
And not only in college, that was in high school. That was in Little League. Like, I've just been cramping my whole life because the workload. Like, I played offense, defense. I always hydrated, but it was just my fat and my body wasn't like, I don't have enough fat on my body to endure what I was trying to do growing up. Like 4% body fat, that's damn near fuck. That's so
you're not supposed to really be alive like that, only 4%.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So, but I'm healthy, I'm live and I'm well. But
no question.
Percent is definitely 4.7 to be exact. Is my body fat, and my wife is trying to do a better job of making sure I get all my avocado, all my fats to get my fat level, my fat percent back up. But it is what it is, man. But to get back to my point, I would definitely wanted to play both ways. I wish Coach Prime was in college football when I was coming up.
You want to be both ways?
As a defensive player, that's all I did in high school and Little League. So I would want to do the same things at the next highest level to see if I was able to do it. You know what I mean? I always endured the next challenge. So there ain't no question about it that I would want to do it, but it would have to be in spurts. It won't be like no 35 plays and 95 plays on defense. But because then you got to think about this too, Matt. In the SEC, I had assignments on defense.
You were a football guy.
I had to go get, whoever Coach Chavis told me to go get, whoever that guy was on the opposite side, I had to go get him. So I had to guard their best guy and you already know in college we're playing 90 plays minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have to be in spurts though, but I would have loved the opportunity to play both sides.
What do you think? Of course, we had Travis on the show when he was in high school, some years back, and he's always been a two-way player. Yep. But at the next level, we foresee him getting that opportunity, staying healthy and just taking care of his business because he's that type of talent. Where do you see him playing at the next level?
Man, the crazy thing, Mac, it's crazy you asked me that because he was very impressive at both positions.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know. But if it was me, I would want to be a defensive back. And my reasoning why, because you have to land on a team with a good quarterback, man. Like it all predicates off your quarterback. Not necessarily it all predicates off your quarterback. If your quarterback has a good ball, he has a good ball. But if you guys don't have the continuity, the guys don't have the relationship, or if he's not able to throw, because it's certain quarterbacks in this league now that can't throw certain balls. Like it's certain quarterbacks that can't throw back shoulders. There's certain quarterbacks that have trouble placing the ball in between the hashes. You know what I mean? So you gotta almost get dropped in a perfect position in order to be almost kind of successful or considered as a great at the receiver position. But as a defensive back, man, you control your own destiny, man. You ain't got to depend on nobody. And for me, that's the way I would like it.
Yeah. I think, and I had this question when he was in high school. It was a conversation.
He said offense, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember what he said, but I think I would want to see him on the offensive side. Because when he has that football in his hands, he make things happen. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Devontae Smith for the Eagles.
Okay.
Who played at Alabama. Like smooth route runner, great hands.
I wasn't able to see him like far as getting like any reverses or anything. It was more like route running. And all of that was perfectly smooth and all that, but I feel like he'll be much more of an effective on the defensive side. Much more effective on the defensive side.
Well, at the rate he's going to have to make that decision. Yeah, because they're going to want to
very soon,
definitely
add him to it.
Yeah, no question. They're going to want to add a player like Travis.
Well, I'm sorry, wait. I think after this,
no, he's a sophomore. He's a true. I think he's a true sophomore.
So another year and a half.
Yeah, no question. But hey, man, great win for Colorado, Coach Prime and his staff. College football is here. And it's going to be a fun ride. And with college football being here, guess what? NFL. The big show is about to start as well.
As my boy Sauce Carolina said, the bigs. The bigs, no question. You know how when you play park ball, you have the younger kids play, it goes up in age, and that last game, that's when the older kids play. Yeah.
This is how it is right now. The big league is about to start. Pat P week 1. Preview is coming up next. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. It's here. Listen, this is what you've been waiting for. This is all the training, all the running, eating healthy, sleeping in the hyperbaric chamber, getting stretched, everything. This is why. Week 1 preview, the Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the San Francisco 49ers, two outstanding organizations with heavy tradition and prestige. Kicks off in Pittsburgh, 1 p.m. I'm fired up. Pat P fired up.
Yes, sir.
Both teams have heavy expectations. The 49ers feel like they should have went to the championship a year ago. Had quarterback injuries. Of course, we know how that played out. Pittsburgh is trying to get right back into that conversation. Most importantly, get into the tournament, as Mike T likes to say. Pat P, First, this can be the first like legit game. It's different than preseason. As you saw the preseason atmosphere, man, what do you expect from Steeler Nation, man, week 1 in this home opener?
Man, you know what I just found out, Mac, that this is the first home opener in about 8+ years. I can't remember the exact number, but it's been a while since it's been a home opener here. So the city's buzzing. There's no hotel rooms available. Everybody's super excited about the squad. Obviously, I'm super excited about the squad, but I'm expecting everybody to show up and show out.
Man.
I can't wait to see the fourth quarter Renegade in live action.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this, but man, I fired up, boy.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
Ooh, and I know you already have, started your prep, your film study, man. What makes Brock Purdy not just a feel-good story as Mr. Irrelevant because he was the last pick in the draft 2 years ago, but a legitimate NFL starting quarterback? What have you seen from his game?
Man, he's able to put the ball the football where it needs to go. He's a guy that's not going to make many mistakes. He's a guy that's going to take what the defense gives him and allow his defense to put him in a better position.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at film and you look at him play and how Coach Shanahan calls the game, that's their formula. They're going to run the football, a ton of mixed direction plays to get that defensive player's eyes all over the place, and let their guys make hay after they catch the ball. You got to think about this as well, Matt. They have the number one running back, number one tight end, number one receiver with yards after the catch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's very dynamic. So when you think about it, the plays that he's doing to Christian McCaffrey, he ain't out there running no post. He ain't out there running no dig. He's swinging out the backfield.
Yeah.
You got Deebo Samuels. He ain't running no deep ball. He's running drag routes, taking 4-yard routes. Hey, you got George Kittle doing the same thing, running these bang gates. That's 12-yard routes and turning it into a 30-yard game. So he's just putting the ball schematically where it's supposed to go. So as a defense, on the defensive side of the ball, we're gonna have to do a great job of making sure that we communicate because they do a great job of shifting in motion. It's the number one team in the NFL when it comes to shifting and motioning post snap. So communication is going to be at an all-time premium.
And you remember we had the legendary Dick LeBeau on
a
few episodes ago. If you missed that, it's in our feed. One thing he talked about in regards to great defensive play, the first telling sign of a real great defensive unit is the way they tackle. When you don't miss tackle and you communicate, like you talked about what they do in San Francisco, he just get the football into his playmaker hands and they make plays, make guys miss, turn a 10-yard gain into a 20 or 30-yard gain. That's how you get chunk plays, and that's how you get opportunities to get into the red area to score. But when you take that out of the equation and you tackling the catch and rally to the ball, they got to do it the long way.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
So if we do a good job of tackling the guys at the point of attack, we're going to be in a good position to be able to, sustain those guys from making big plays. Because if you go back and watch the Philadelphia Eagles game, obviously I know Brock Purdy wasn't in the game. They went through a bunch of quarterbacks in that game. But those guys was hugging up on those checkdowns. Because when you give, a dynamic, running back 3-4 yards of space, he's going to make one guy miss. There ain't no question about it. So if we do a good job of hugging up on those outlets, that those guys are just hanging out on the sideline, those late leak out guys, I think we'll be in pretty good shape. But he just do a great job of putting the ball where it needs to go and not making many mistakes. So we're going to have to force him to be a professional quarterback.
Yeah. Now, and I'll say this too as well. Why I'm so hyped about the Steelers in this position against the San Francisco 49ers week 1 is because Brock Purdy's going to get pressured. And heat is going to come. Hey. You don't necessarily got to bring it with extra hats. Y'all got some grown men. Like, y'all got some grown men that can win their one-on-one matchups. You know what I mean? You got depth. You got the first duo, you're going to have Highsmith and Watt. The second duo, you can bring in Marcus and Herbig. So it's going to be a rotation, and that's going to help everyone else in the defense out when you put pressure on the quarterback. But one of their main, and for me, I look at their offense, when you talk about having, a legit offense, someone has to be, the starter for them, the transmission in a car. You don't have a transmission in your car, you ain't going nowhere. For them, it's Christian McCaffrey. He's the transmission for their car. What's the focus like slowing someone down like CMC? Because he's not just a prolific runner, but out of the backfield and route combinations. he does damage as well. So what are you guys trying to emphasize the week of leading up to Sunday and trying to slow Christian McCaffrey down?
Man, obviously we understand what these guys, what their identity is. We know these guys like to run stretch. We know these guys like to run perimeter tosses. You know, they want to get the ball on the edge of the defense and let their shifty guys pick where they want to go. And they got one of the best in the business in Christian McCaffrey of picking the best lane to go to make big plays. You know, so for us, obviously, we're going to have to make sure that everybody tackles well. Everybody, all 11 hats, got to come prepared to tackle. You know, because this guy is very shifty. He can make, the jump cut ability, his vision that he has on the field is gonna be very prominent. Very prominent that everybody has all hands on deck when it comes to tackling, and obviously that's not even debatable when it comes to Pittsburgh defense. You know, so that's not even the question. So if we're able to, everybody, all 11 hats, swarm him when he does run the ball, and make sure that we have a good a good feel on where he is when it is in the game, because Brock Purdy looks for him very often when those passes lane get a little cloudy, he's looking for 23. So we got to make sure that we're hugged up on our coverage and make sure that we have sound communication at all times, because there is some tell signs out there that tells us what plays we're going to get when those guys in certain situations. So
wait a minute. So you got a little insight on, just from your film study, telling signs on when they're going to do certain things already?
Come on, Mac. You
got your cheat code ready?
Come on, Mac. You watched film before.
I'm not going to ask you to tell me what have you picked out of, because we don't know who's watching or who's listening. So we're going to let that be.
Before, man. Yes. When I get my pick Sunday, we'll talk about it.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. When you get your pick Sunday, number one, you got to get, because, the guys didn't really celebrate like how y'all celebrated in Minnesota.
It's up.
You already got something planned.
It's up.
That's what I like to hear. Hey, real quick, you guys made an addition, Desmond King, right?
Yeah,
another savvy vet, big time player, man. Do you think he will be involved in the game plan this Sunday, knowing that he just, joined the team a little of a week ago, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how it all unfolds throughout this week. Preparation. Obviously, we got to make sure that he understands the scheme, understand how we run things here in Pittsburgh, PA, as Mike T like to say. But he's a savvy vet. He's been in the game a long time. He's been around a bunch of different schemes. So I'm quite sure it won't be very hard for him to understand our scheme, because our scheme is not very hard. We just line up and play football, and we want to punch you in the mouth, point blank here. So
I like the move though. I think Omar has really been in his bag, bro. Shouts out to Omar, boy.
I like the move as well, because I did feel like we needed just another veteran presence at the cornerback position, because we was a little a little young on the guys that's backing up me and Levi.
Yeah. I like what Omar has done, man, the entire offseason, man, because he got the guys in the building. Now it's time to go ahead and put it on film, man. What version? Yep, what you got?
That's it. It's time to operate now.
No question. Talking about preseason leading up to the start of the regular season, Kenny Pickett was phenomenal. You know what I mean? So what do you expect to see for number 8 in the entire offense?
He needs to be phenomenal again. ain't no ifs and buts about it, Matt.
Yeah, I agree.
Be phenomenal again. And what we saw in the preseason is what I've seen since spring. OTA.
You've been talking about it.
Yeah,
you've been talking about it.
Mini camp and training camp, preseason. I've seen it since April. So I don't expect to see nothing less.
Yeah, you've been talking about it. I'm excited as well, man. I think he's ready to turn the corner and probably a little sooner than what people expected. But that's the maturity that he has. Played a lot of college football, which helps, I think.
Yes.
With what we're seeing now,
Yes.
the experience is there, and he's highly confident, and he has a bunch of guys around him that can do their job and do it at a high level, which helps. So every week for our new listeners and our viewers, when we preview the next opponent for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I will give a prediction. I give a prediction. And I'm usually pretty good with my predictions. I'm not saying I hit the exact number, but I get pretty close.
Last year, you was dang near. Yeah, I give you about a 77%.
That's a great percentage. That's a great percentage. Yes. And so, Pat P, this has nothing to do with you, so you can close your ears. But for our viewers that are gamblers, that oftentimes bet on ball games, and for our listeners, Pittsburgh, they're getting 2.5 points. 2.5 points. So with me and my studying and just talking gambling and participating in gambling, anytime I see an underdog getting 2.5, I always take the underdog. I take the underdog. And the reason why I take the underdog is because the public usually side with the dog, knowing they're only giving 2.5. Because if they're giving 2.5, you believe that dog is good enough to at least win by 3 points. That's how the public think. They see 2.5. Well, that's a team that I think is better than the underdog. And all they got to do is win by 3 points. Oh, we're going to run to that. And if you do your research, a lot of times when that underdog is getting 2.5, the underdog win. Prime example, I understand we talked about this earlier. Florida State, LSU. LSU was a 2.5 point favorite. I was going to take Florida State money line anyway, straight up. I didn't want no points. I was just that confident. But that was a telling sign, like 2.5. Most people are going to take LSU, the higher ranked team, only giving 2.5. Oh, they can win by 3 points. So with that being said, that has nothing to do with why I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers, by the way. I just want to give you guys some betting information, and you guys can thank me later and just continue to subscribe, and we all win money together because I will have a parlay. And in my parlay, I got one with Pittsburgh by themselves, money line. That's it. Then I'm going to come right back, and I got my Thursday night parlay consisting with...
You fired up.
I'm fired up. Detroit, Kansas City. I'm taking Detroit with the points. I like Cleveland getting 2.5 from Cincinnati as well, similar to what I just stated with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the 2.5 logic. So I got it. Okay, I can't give you my parlay information, but I will before the weekend is, or hit me on social media. But my prediction for this particular game right here, Pittsburgh, San Francisco. You ready, Pat P?
I'm ready, dog. The mad scientist.
Pittsburgh, San Francisco. Pittsburgh win 2016. 2016. Pittsburgh win. 2016, Pat P.
I like it. Hey, Matt, to go back.
What you got?
The last season opener for the Pittsburgh Steelers was in 2014 against, let me tell you.
Last home opener?
It was against the Browns. Yeah. It will be the Pittsburgh Steelers' first home game opener since 2014 season when they hosted the Cleveland Browns.
And I tell you this much about Mike Tomlin in week 1 matchups against teams that are considered to be, highly respected and playoff caliber teams. Mike T take care of his business. Last year, Cincinnati coming off that Super Bowl run on the road, Pittsburgh won. I think the year before that they had Buffalo. What was the year they went to Buffalo? Buffalo was highly, looked at to be a championship type contender. Pittsburgh won. Mike Tomlin, I don't know what Mike Tomlin record. I don't know if Eric can kind of get that number for us.
So it's almost like college ball. You give them too much time to prep. Because Coach T, man, I don't think I've ever been around a head coach that loves ball as much as Coach T does.
Oh, he love it.
It's not a moment that we're not talking about ball. And it's not a moment in the building where we're not looking at a film or talking about this or talking about that pertains beating the team that's in front of us. and obviously we know he know his stuff. I can just remember being on the sideline in the Atlanta game when it was time for me to take my pass off. He was like, they're gonna come out before they broke the huddle, man. This ain't no bull job. Before they broke the huddle, he was like, yeah, they're gonna come out in 3-by-1, they're gonna run such and such.
And they ran it.
Damn, they came on the exact formation that he said, and they also ran the exact route combination that he said. So the time that he has to be able to prepare for, a week 1 team is just too much time on his hands because he got so much time on his hands to watch film, to really dissect what they want to do and how they want to do it in certain situations.
I love it. So we got the information from our great producer and our stat guy, Eric Debo. Mike Tomlin is 4-1 at home. He's 6-4-1 away, leading to an overall record in week 1 games of 10-5-1 in opening day games. That puts the Steelers at a 65.6 winning percentage in opening day games. And he's 4-1 at home in opening day games. I love it. I'm already in, but I'm already in. I'm heavy. It doesn't even matter. I committed. It doesn't matter. I'm gone. I don't even want the points. I don't want the 2.5. I just told you what's going to happen. BMac prediction 2016. BMac prediction 2016. And if that hits, y'all know y'all got to rock with us every week. Y'all know it every week. So Pat, before we go, we got some fans that definitely want to hit you with a few questions, right? And our Steelers mailbag got a few questions before we go, so you can get ready to lay in your hyperbaric chamber. And we're going to tap into some of these fan questions, man. Some good ones coming up for all you listeners and viewers. Thank you for watching us up until this point. We're not quite done yet. We're in the 4th quarter. It's almost over. But come back because we might read one of your questions. Stay tuned. Pat P, Steelers mailbag time. Big time questions coming from my big time fans. First up at Brim Duckett 4062. How many games do you think the Steelers have to win the division?
That's a good question, man. We gotta win at least 12.
I'll say you can get 10 in. I think this is division.
No, if I'm looking at correctly, I gotta look at this. I saw something that came up with the easiest and the hardest schedule. And I feel like our biggest competition is going to come down to us.
I think you can get in 10. I think it's a division, man, where teams might split with each other. You know what I mean? So I think you just got to find a way to have that extra game that you might need, especially if it's a close race. So I think you've 10-7, that definitely should give you a shot to win the division. Next question coming up from Carl's Packler, 1431. What was Pat P's confidence level in the team overall when he first signed versus right now, just basically a few days away from the season started? That's a good question. So when you first signed the Pittsburgh Steelers, how was your confidence level in the team overall compared to being a part of them, practicing, and now getting ready for the season?
Man, we've been talking about this for about 4 months now. Ain't nothing changed. Now the world just have an opportunity to see it. Mm-hmm. That's all. Okay. Like I said from day one that we got talent on every single level on this football team. Yeah. And now it's just up to us to go out there and showcase that. And for that little minor period of time, we had opportunity to do that. But now everything counts. Everything matters. Now it's time for us to really go out there and put our hard hat on for 18 weeks. Mm-hmm. See how we mount up against the rest of the league.
I love it. All right, next question. At Evan McCordy, 5014. Hey, Pat P, what is your favorite team activity to do with your teammates? And who do you hang out the most on the team?
Man, I'm a dad, so I don't really hang out with a single guy after practice because I gotta get home. Like right after I get off the show, I gotta go upstairs and get my baby, my oldest girl, Peyton, her homework done. So I have a lot of dad duties that I gotta pertain to once I get home after practice. But probably the guy I speak with the most, well, it's two of them, Levi and Meek. I talk and Sully as well, Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, an ex-teammate. I spent a lot of time with him. So I'd probably go with Shannon, the guy, Shannon, that I spend the most time with outside of the building. But I hang out with all the guys. It's just I had to pick my spots with me being an older guy. I want to get home to give wife. You know how it is, man. Give the wife time off. Come and get the girls cleaned up, get homework done, get dinner ready. I'm low key a chef, things like that. Because you always got to make your home good. Because if ain't home, if home not good, your game not gonna be good.
Facts. No doubt. All right, next question coming up from Dominic Schrader, 1951. Hey, Pat. Hey, P2 and BMac. Us Steeler fans see this as window is open type of year. Sounds like you and the team do too as well. But what's the team's biggest hurdle this year?
The team biggest hurdle this year, in my opinion, is just staying healthy.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Just stay healthy.
Because I feel like we can compete with anybody.
When you're healthy.
Yeah, we can line us up with anybody. We can compete with anybody. I don't give a damn where you put the ball at, what we playing. I already know Steeler faithful going to show up. Like, just put us out there. Long as we got our guys on the field. That's all that matters.
I'm right there with you. I was going to say the same thing. Stay healthy. Because if you're healthy, you're talented enough to compete against whoever. And we're going to see that on Sunday. Next question coming from Junior 90936. Where does Pat P think GP, George Pickens, will rank after this season?
Top 5.
I agree.
Top 5.
I think so too.
Yeah, top 5. Top 10 minimum. Top 10 minimum. But top 5, I believe that's the ceiling for him, in my opinion.
All right. Next question coming from The Evangelist 3. Pat P, are you wearing any new swag with your new team?
Hey, you gonna be cooking back.
You got any new swag for the new team? I think this is what you should do, Pat P. Every week or every other week, have and put it on social media to generate some content. Have 2 options for you to wear in regards to your cleats, and have the fans vote on what they think you should wear. Because Pat P has shown to me a glimpse of his cleat game for this season. He got some things in rotation now. You know what I mean? So it'd be like, man, should I go this route or should I go this route? I think that'd be dope. But I'll answer the question for you. The Evangelist, yeah.
Yeah. We got something. And shout out to my boy Prime Time again. Little nugget.
Oh, he sent you something?
No, I just gave the fans a nugget. You asked me what I was wearing.
Well, it might be. Is it Diamond Turfs in the Steeler color?
Stay tuned, ladies.
Stay tuned. Okay. All right. Next question coming from Steelers Nation, Australia. Shouts out to all our fans in Australia. Pat P, good day, mate.
Hey, good day,
mate. Would you rather fight 2 male kangaroos or James Depot Harrison? Dang. That's an Australian-like question.
After his 99-yard interception, I probably would go with 2 kangaroos.
I'm gonna fight 2 kangaroos as well. I don't know how strong a kangaroo is, and with me not knowing how strong a kangaroo is, I think I might have a shot.
Hey man, that doggone James, man, he's different, man. He's from another planet, first and foremost.
Man, I think I might fight two kangaroos because I don't know.
Like,
on the top of my head, I don't know how strong they are. I know they're strong.
Going to kind of know when enough is enough. Like James not going to know enough is enough.
And I think I kind of can maneuver around. I don't know how quick their short area quickness is for a kangaroo. I don't know what they got going on. I feel like I can kind of scoop and score with a kangaroo, get a scoop.
Because the kangaroo's gonna pause a little bit. They trying to figure you out as well.
Yeah. James. They say, and this was the kicker after his 100-yard interception.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. No, I ain't trying to see James.
I'm right there with you. Okay, that's good. Good question. Shouts out to our fans, like I said, in Australia. Next up, lifelong fan 07. What is the process and who makes the call in an audible situation? How does the entire defense adjust?
Well, defense, we don't really have a ton of audibles.
That's mostly offensively.
Yeah, on the offensive side of the ball, they have more audibles, but on the defense, we just have more checks, more making sure guys are in certain positions when the offense give us certain formations. So if the offense come in a bunch, if certain formation, we might go box. If we're in a certain, in a certain defense, we might go box. If we're in a certain defense, we might go zoning. If we're in a certain defense, we might go X, Y, and Z. So it just all depends on what the offense is presenting to the defense. So we have more checks than anything versus audible. So in not high school, in college, now we had audibles because you had a lot of teams that played that fast ball, hurry up to the ball, looking to the sideline to get the plays and this, that, and the other. So in college, you may see more audibles on the defensive side of the ball, but in the league, it's more checks than anything.
Exactly. All right, we got two more questions, Pat P. Next one is coming from Joe's Friends 6767. How well did you play in the coldest game of your life?
The coldest game of my life was Green Bay. Well, both of them. When I played with Arizona and also when I played with Minnesota. I didn't get much action, man. So I had a couple tackles, maybe got a pass or two thrown my way. I mean, that's just the life of me, I guess. So I couldn't really, I really don't have an answer. Actually, last year against the Chicago Bears, that was a pretty cool game. I got an interception in that.
You got an interception. Okay. Well, in Pittsburgh, you don't wear sleeves when it get cold outside, Pat P.
What'd you say?
In Pittsburgh, when it's cold outside, you don't wear sleeves.
Who is they?
That's just a Pittsburgh thing.
Me.
Yeah, I know, but it's a Pittsburgh thing. It's like, it's just Pittsburgh. I don't know. I didn't make the rules. I didn't like I made the rules.
I ain't from Pittsburgh. I'm from Florida, man.
Me too.
But you said I gotta buy in. That's what you're telling me. I gotta buy in.
I gotta buy in, man. I don't know if it's a little different now. I don't know if a guy wearing sleeves, but I know not especially at home.
We'll see, Mac. You my field of pass. If you want me to play well, I need to put these sleeves on. If you're talking about you want me to be your brother's keeper,
All right, last question coming from Spiva. What is Pat P's favorite non-sports related TV series?
That's a very good
question.
Good one, man. I love documentaries. I love like true stories, especially of past athletes. I like to hear their story. I like to see what they went through. What was their mindset like when they was a kid, to see if we have anything relatable. You know, I'm real big in athletic documentaries. Let me see. That's a really good question, man.
I'll give you mine.
I got one right now.
Go ahead, go shoot.
My favorite non-sport documentary will probably have to be. It's a toss-up because I love mafia type vibe. So it's one of the 50 Cent series for sure. But it's between Ghost and BMF.
I like that. I'm big fans of those two as well. BMF, Power.
Yep. Well, Power, that's the one I'm talking about. Not Ghost, but Power. Not the Book of Ghost.
And now they got the Book of Power. So that's exactly. I'm right there with you. All of those series, shouts out to 50 Cent, man, are eye-catching, and I rock with them. But my go-to is Law and Order, SVU.
Yeah, I can't watch that.
I like all Law and Orders, organized crime, regular law order, law and order.
Hey, hold on, wait, I'm gonna go back, man. I will say this. My favorite show to watch is First 48.
First 48?
I like to watch First 48.
I ain't watching for First 48.
I like to watch First 48.
No, I'm not watching.
I like to watch First 48. Or Net Geographic.
No, I'm not doing that either.
I'm real big on Shark Week and Animal Fight Night. I'm real big on that as well. But I really don't watch TV like talking about. If it's, especially during the season. During the season is all film, making sure the girls are in bed for school, and when they go to bed, I watch my film and I go to bed. In the off season, I'm watching golf, some shows with the wife, whatever she got going on, just so we can have our time. And that's basically, and whatever my kids watching. So like right now, hell, when I come home, I'm watching Dance Monsters. I'm watching freaking Coco Millen. I'm watching what else? What's Parker like? Masha and the Bear. Those are things I watch when I get home.
I like it. Okay. Well, great questions from my fans, and we appreciate all the support, all the love, and all the interaction that goes a long way. And we love getting involved with you guys. So, Pat P, it's that time, man. It's that time.
It is that time, Mac. It is game week. I'm fired up. Black and yellow. Here we go. Hey,
full house.
Big season, man. I'm looking forward, not only out of myself, but from the squad, man. We got a bunch of dogs. We got a bunch of go-getters. We got a bunch of guys that's ready to do this thing. So I'm excited about this upcoming season. I'm excited about what's in front of us. And I'm excited about the guy that's leading us, because he makes sure that our head and our focus is in the right place at all times. So we're in a good position, man. We just have to go out there and do what we're supposed to do, and that's executing the game plan and no fucking excuses of my badge and all of that shit.
I agree. It's time to go. Hey, it ain't personal, it's just business. That's all it is.
Business, baby.
It's just business. And we do good business. Good business. Hey, Pat P, can't wait to see you in that swag, in that 20, with them exclusives on your feet.
Hey, you almost let the cat out the bag.
I did. I'm talking too much. It's time for me to go, with that being said. Hey, thank you for tuning in with us. All things covered, Patrick Peterson. See you when we see you. Peace.